Okay, here we are on Eglin, range 22, where I work. This is part of the LCAC program. Right now they're practicing coming on shore and doing target acquisition and practice beach assaults. Over here to the right, my right, where is it? These are the objects they have to lock onto. That is a tetrahedron. Those are called sea urchins. Another tetra, standard cubes, another cube, and associated we're called hedgehogs, which are kind of like jacks. There's 3 of them in a row. They're below the cube area. There's like they step off over there where you go lower into the water, into the bay. That's the Choctawhatchee Bay right there, and the city of Destin in the background. I don't know if you can really tell. Where is it? There's another bridge out there called the Destin Bridge. I'm not sure where it is. Might not be at the right angle, but they're still coming on shore. Probably about half a mile off right now. This is the end of our range 22, where I work. From here all the way back, way the heck down there, even further down than that. It's like 6,000 feet, and it's all our range where we do all our shooting at. That's our shop down there. One of the gun pads right behind all that dirt right there, we do most of our shooting. This open field right here. As you can see, the runway is very close to us. There's some planes fly right over our head. Let's see where the boat is. Yeah, they're moseying on in. I was talking to the captain of the boat, which they call the craft master. He said this one will do 57 miles an hour, about 60 knots. And they have newer versions that'll do close to 90 miles an hour. And the boat is like 200,000 pounds. That's pretty fast for something that heavy. You might think that's a lot of water it's kicking up, but it's nothing compared to when it gets on land and starts kicking up all the sand and grass and all the other garbage around here. As soon as it gets on land, I'm going to get out of here and go someplace else, because I will be covered in dirt. Anyway, I'll tell you about the system that's on it later on. Right now it's starting to get a little loud down here. Basically, when they're coming on shore, they're supposed to lock on to the targets over here with the seeker head, and the seeker head comes off of a AGM-130 air-to-ground missile. They call it a missile, but it really is a 2,000-pound bomb with a rocket motor attached to it. So it's a missile and a bomb. So it's a standard TV screen, TV guided missile. And we kind of scrounged up the seeker head and just slapped it on there, and now that's our target acquisition mode. They're pretty close to shore now. Probably around a couple hundred feet, not even. As soon as that thing gets on land, I'm going to get out of here. We're getting real close to it now. Oh boy. Should give you a good shot of the gun. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it all. It's a 30mm DPU-5 gun pod. Carries 353 rounds. pretty awesome when it's getting shot. Yeah, I think they're gonna mess around with. That's my boss's truck right there, Mac. I think they're playing with him, coming right at him. I'm gonna be getting out of here in a minute here. It's gonna get ugly here. There she goes. getting out of the way because it's going to make a mess here real quick. Okay, I'm upwind now. This will be a lot better when I go up on hover. See the outline of the gun a little bit better there. The sun's on my eyes. You can definitely see the seeker. It took quite a while yesterday to waterproof everything from the salt water. Like they got the radar up and running now. They should be going here in a minute. Not a whole lot to that skirt, just heavy rubber. Actually underneath it is all hollow. Tomorrow I get my ride in it, going out to the Gulf. Practices out there, and I get to do my little joyride on it. That one took off in a hurry there. You can't see it. Well, yes you can. That's the Mid-Bay Bridge right there. All the way across. It's like almost 5 miles long. Connects Destin to Niceville. And right where they're at, even though they look like they're maybe 2 miles offshore, they're probably only in about 4 feet of water. You can walk out there and you're not over your head for at least a mile. More than that in some sections. I know I've done it myself. Getting off of work one day. Quite a view for where you work at, isn't it? Those are the hedgehogs right there. I'll go walk up to them. Okay, these are hedgehogs. We just made them out of 2x4s, but they're supposed to be made out of 3/8" steel. But of course these are a lot easier for us to lift. So we just throw them around here on the beach. That's one of the cubes. Of course that's supposed to be made out of 3,000 psi steel reinforced concrete. We use 3/8" plywood. It's a lot easier for us. There's your tetras. And 2x4s again. Sea urchins, those are out of steel rods. We don't really care about those. It's the tetras, hedgehogs, and the cubes is what they're really worried about. This one was painted gray, and it's got the black garbage bags on it because we couldn't see it with the TV monitor and the seeker head, because that's in black and white, and these were gray on a gray background according to your screen, so you couldn't see it. Even though the ground is brown around here, it all comes up gray. So you had to put some black on it. But they get one thing at a time. All we're trying to do is just prove that the system works, and then they're going to try to sell it to somebody to manufacture it and get more funding. Yeah, that guy better get out of the way. That is the Destin Bridge right there. There's Destin, that's Okaloosa Island. One big circle, because if you keep going to the right, it eventually take you back over to Fort Walton and Shalimar, and then right back onto Eglin. One big circle around here. During Hurricane Oakland, that place right here, Okaloosa Island, which is owned by the Air Force, it's all just beaches, that got really destroyed, and Highway 98 was taken out. We came by here after Hurricane George. That happened about beginning of October or so, end of September, I think it was. And these waves here in the bay were around 3 feet, 4 feet high. And where I'm standing was under about 2 feet of water. So the bay rose quite a bit. Yes, I still have my truck. Down over there, that is the top of King Hangar. It's the biggest hangar on Eglin. And that is the climatic lab, where they can get you can get temperatures up to 160 degrees and negative, I think 70 is as far as it'll go. Make snowstorms, you name it, hurricane winds, it'll do it. They just got it renovated, and right before it got completed, part of it burnt down. Seems a welder, some sparks started shooting around, and one thing led to another. Let's see what the boat's doing. Yeah, they're just sitting there, probably locking on to me. Wouldn't be a bit surprised. Tell you a little bit about the range. This range has been here since before World War II. There's old bunkers in the woods over there. They're all grown over. And to my left, you can't see it. Everything's overgrown. There are bunkers out there that during World War II, they would stick up pie plates, and the planes would come from, I guess you'd say, the northeast, which is about what I'm facing now, flying southeast, and they would strafe over the pie plates. And they have a guy sitting inside the bunker, and pie plate get taken out, put up a new plate. Heck of a way to earn your living. We'll go down to the gun pad over here, since they're just going to be messing around out there. Okay, here we are, what we call the BCAP pad for ballistic kinetic energy projectile. When I was down by the water, I was pointing at the piles of dirt. Well, that's them right there. These are the targets we'll shoot into. We'll shoot anywhere from 12 feet back up to 20 feet back from the target, which doesn't seem like much, but the objects we shoot are unstable in flight. And this block here is about 3 feet thick. That one's around 4 feet thick. Actually, that one's about 3 feet thick, and that one's 2 feet thick. We'll just shoot them into it, and they'll either come out or not and go into the dirt. And then you gotta go digging for it. There's another 1-footer right there. That one's been shot. I'll walk over to that one in a minute. And here is what does the damage. We got 2 of them right now. 2 155mm howitzers. And go get closer to them. Okay. As you can see, they are different. They're different, but they're the same. They are both 155mm howitzers. They are both smooth bore howitzers, meaning they have no rifling in the bore, because we don't want the projectile we're shooting to come out spinning. We just want it to come out straight. The reason why this one has got this extension on it is because the items we were shooting needed to go faster than what that barrel over there could provide. I think the maximum velocity we got on that barrel was around 1,400 feet per second, and that was with around almost 4 pounds of powder in the case. We'll get to the case later. So we needed more chamber to burn more powder. because we were putting in 4 pounds of powder in that one almost, but it wasn't burning at all because it was running out of tube. So that's why we put these extensions on here. I put these on myself about a month ago. I haven't fired it yet. I really don't want to because I'm trying to stay away from this project. But we have another barrel extension that can go another 6 feet. And then if we have to go to that, this thing will be flapping in the wind when we fire it, because that's just too much barrel in front of the breech to be shooting without it being tied down in some way or fashion. And it's just screwed on, is all it is. It is a 155 howitzer, but it's got a 105 millimeter sleeve in it. So we really have 2 guns for the price of one. This one does not have a sleeve in it right now. It's got this set up for 155. Let's go look at it some more. And there's your breech, which we rebuilt recently because this one just was not working right. Let me go open it up here. We'll turn this off for a second. Okay. Looking right down there. This is the breech. That sleeve right there you're looking at is a powder chamber. We put that in front or behind, depending on how you look at it. The sleeve, the 105 sleeve. This is where the 105 cartridge case will go. Right in there, slam the breech shut, stick in our firing device, and give it 28 volts, and off she goes. Nothing on this gun is light. Everything is big and heavy. Surprisingly, you can put this breech back together with no directions, but we did it. Took a while. It was pretty nasty, but we got it all fixed up. And this is the last target that was shot. They shot what they're calling high caps now, because normally the B caps we only go around 1,000 feet per second. Well, now they want to go up to 1,700 feet per second, so now they're called high caps. For, I don't know, high energy kinetic projectile. And here is the other gun. This is our older one. This is our newer one. This one is set up for 155 work, and we shoot what we call a stubby out of a 155, which it fits in there perfectly, and we don't have to do any modifications to it. I won't open a breech on this one because if you've seen one breech, you've seen them all. And we have to use a crane to lift this up. One of the guys, Chuck, when he first got in the shop, wanted to do it by hand. We did it once, and we won't do that again, as it is quite heavy. That's why we have cranes. Now, what we'll do is we'll put the target, put the gun by the target, measure it out, and we'll shoot between 10 and 15 or up to 20 feet from the target. And that is the target measured back to the muzzle, which is right there. That is your muzzle. So we'll get everything set up. X marks the spot where you want to shoot. We'll shoot. Now hopefully the item will go right into the dirt. Sometimes it does come out, and that field I was just standing in a couple minutes ago, you'll find them in there. Sometimes you'll find they'll go shooting into the water. Sometimes they'll go off into the woods over there. Other times they'll go right through the concrete, hit the dirt, and then go straight up. Then you just kind of sit here and watch it tumbling around in the air, wondering where it's going to go, and hoping it doesn't come anywhere near you. When we shoot, we are right there in that Connex box. Just a metal box around 3/8 inch thick steel, which is more protection than what we used to have, because we used to just be behind these concrete blocks with nothing over our heads. But when you fire that gun and you've got a 4-pound powder charge in there, that thing will rock your head off. The vibrations in there. And that's where we are. Everybody else has to be down there. Or over there. And they see where everything goes. We don't see nothing. We just hear it hit. Or hear the gun go and wonder where the item's going to go. So, these are all our old targets. They kind of get dumped over here, and then they're supposed to get covered up with dirt just to hide them. One big junkyard, kind of. But these are our 155s. We have lots more guns than these. We get very many different and strange looks when we're towing these down the highway when we have to take them to outer ranges for whatever reason. Don't think people like it when the gun is pointing at their windshield, especially the size of these. So, let's go see what else is going on. I meant to tell you about these. This is a 105mm case. Get a little primer goes right there. See it sticking out a little bit. This one's been used though. And the primer is normally around 18 inches long or so. Actually maybe a little bit less than that. The primers we use are from around 1943 in that area. And we use what they call M4 powder, which is about the size of rabbit food. We use that a lot. We also use something called GAL-8, which is kind of like rice. You know, different powders for different velocities. M4 is real slow. GAL-8 is very fast. And we have stuff called Triple FG and 870, which is like incredibly fast. And what that does is goes bang real fast, burns real fast. You get a sharp increase in pressure, and the item will go out. Whereas with the M4, it'll go bang, but it burns slowly, which your pressure increases slowly. Which this is only rated at around 60,000 psi is all it can go to. Well, when we first shot this gun with this new tube on the front over here, for some odd reason, we still haven't figured out why, it went up to like 72,000, which is not good. Granted, they say don't go over 60,000, but you know they're probably good for probably 90,000. They just don't want you going over 60. So we don't know why it did that, but they're still working on it. Like I said, I'm staying away from this program because I'm too wrapped up with this LCAC thing, which hopefully will go away soon. Hopefully. The bunkers I was telling you about, they've kind of sunk down a little bit. They used to be up a lot higher. Of course, there was no vegetation at all. And they would put the pie plates up along here. Planes would fly by and shoot the pie plates. This one is sunk down quite a bit. We have another one that's up normal, but it's overgrown so much. And then there's another one that's sunk down even more, and it's filled up with water. And it's got, we call it the berm monster living in it. It's got all these reeds growing in it, and there is something large in there. I've never seen it, but I've came close to it, and I've seen it move about a 4-foot section of the reeds all moved at the same time. I have no idea what it is. I don't really care to find out. It wouldn't surprise me if there was a crocodile or alligator living in there. Because we got all sorts of things out here. Pygmy rattlers, scorpions, palmetto bugs, copperheads, brown recluse spiders, you name it. Fire ants are all over the place. I've been torn up by fire ants so many times. You name it, we have got it out here. All those targets you saw downrange, this is where they get made. As you can see, we're going to be quite busy shooting all of these targets. We don't make them. Contractors come in here and do it. But there are quite a bit for us to be shooting. We are going to be quite busy in the coming months. And over here is our little scrap yard. And we'll go to the top of the truck. This is where we have all our extra junk. Lots of metal we work with. But who cares what? Okay, this is our another gun pad. We just call this one the gun pad. As you can see, it's got an assortment of guns on it right now. Even though they don't look like guns, every one of them is a gun. These are our blast shields, which we'll kind of use to protect some equipment, and they're also called sabot strippers. Believe it or not, this one right here is leaning, which weighs probably around, I'd say around 2,400 pounds. During Hurricane George, or actually Hurricane Earl, I think it was, got knocked over on its side. So we're thinking a little tornado must have come and zipped it on through here. Over here, this is a air gun mounted on a 155mm carriage. It is just an oversized BB gun. It is all that is. I haven't done too much work with those, but in another 2 weeks I'm going to be forced into doing work on them. I don't know as much about air guns as I would like to, because I normally would stick with the powder guns. Let's see. We'll get to that big gun in a minute here. These are the frames. We'll mount them on, called hard stands. We'll mount the gun on top up here with what we call a universal mount. It would get bolted down here, 4 spots. And then what we have clamshells, and we can interchange it with anything from a 50 caliber gun barrel, 20mm, 30mm, 25mm, up to a 40mm gun barrel. Can go on these hard stands with the universal mount. Over here, these are the old, ancient, and decrepit air gun right here, which I have never even seen work. I imagine he's keeping it for a reason, unfortunately. This is another air gun, just an air chamber. Here's your valve. Screw the barrel on right there, and off she goes. I'll go show you some of the other guns. Okay, this is a project I am staying as far away from as I can. This is a 76mm gun. We've never used it until the last 2 months. Mark was here for 6 years and he never fired it. He just left. But it's been fired like 4 or 5 times now. There's a problem though. Right here, about 3 feet up the barrel, there's a bulge on the inside. So let's say the diameter of the barrel is 76mm up until that point, and then it becomes like a 78mm for about 6 inches, and it goes back down to 76mm for the rest of the barrel, which is really bad because the items we shoot have a gas seal on them, and as soon as it hits that point, it loses your gas seal, and then you get really bad velocity. They're using this to shoot, get this, you're going to get a kick out of this one. I don't know where they got it, but it was just dumped on my desk. We, being the United States, somehow found out about how the Russians were shooting a missile with fins that were sideways. Now, let me explain this to you. Say this barrel right here is a missile. Going right there. Normally the fins on the missile run in the same direction as the barrel. Well, the fins on this missile are turned 90 degrees, and they look like waffles, hollowed out waffles. I don't have the missile down here, the model of it, but it's pretty wild. Supposedly it doesn't get a whole lot of drag, but they can come up with wild turns, like 80-degree angle turns. Not quite 90-degree angles, but an 80-degree angle of a turn, which is incredible because our standard air-to-air missiles we have cannot do that. This is another one of those hard stands we mount it to. Even though it's a 76mm, we have an adapter which isn't out here, and we shoot 40mm cases of 76 to 40mm adapter. As you can see, they were also shooting 30mm. They were really going down to the small ones. Do not know why, because I don't know a whole lot about this test. I'm staying away from it. But there she is. It's an ugly gun. I don't know where they got it. I don't want to know. But nothing is uglier than this. This is a light gas gun. I think the lightest piece on this gun is probably these tops, the caps, and they probably weigh around 10 pounds a piece. Most of the equipment we use on this weighs around, I think the lightest is around 40 pounds, and that's for a wrench. And for some reason, it is just our bad luck. The only time we shoot this gun is in the middle of July or August. And you need around 6 people to shoot it. And if you're really busting your butt and things are going good, you'll be lucky if you can shoot this gun 6 times in one day. Basically, what it is this. I'll try explaining this to you. We'll start back here. Here you have your powder chamber. This is where all the powder goes. You'll put a bag in, about a 3-pound bag of powder. I'll tell you about the bag later on. This section right here is called your pump tube, going from there all the way up to there. Once everything is connected and you pull it all, everything's connected, you pull a vacuum on it. Then you fill up this whole entire section with helium, anywhere from 0 to 300 psi of helium. Right here you'll have a brake diaphragm, which will brake at a certain psi, 12,000, 20,000, 30,000 psi, whatever the case may be. And your model and sabot, which you are shooting, is going to be in front of it. So this is what happens. No, I'm not explaining this correctly. I mean, not in order, rather. Over here you'll have a piston, which will get weighted up with brass, and you jam it in. It starts around right there, and it goes into about right there. And you got to hit it in there with this big old sledgehammer and battering ram. The battering ram itself weighs around 75 pounds. So you jam it up in there, pull your vacuum, fill it up with helium, stick your powder bag in there, put a little 20mm cartridge case on the back of the powder bag, and put your fire mechanism on there. Okay, here it goes. You go bang, 20mm fires, big fireball comes out that, goes up the a spit tube, goes into the powder bag, ignites your powder bag, that goes up, starts sending your piston down the pump tube, which is filled with helium. Helium starts building pressure, pressure goes up to your burst diaphragm right here, diaphragm breaks, bang, off goes your item. Your sabot will get stripped right there. Your item go through it and into the bunker. Okay, well guess what? That piston you just shot that just went from there all the way up is now jammed in here, because it goes from a hole that's about 2.5 to 3 inches wide down to a teeny tiny one. Then you got to take this gun apart right there, turn it, and shoot the piston out over there. Guess what? It doesn't always work that way, because if you don't, this is called your high pressure section. If you don't grease it up, it won't come out. So we learned that the hard way. A very ugly gun. You have O-rings right here, over here, and over there. If any one of them blow while you're in the middle of pulling vacuum or filling it with helium, take it all apart, start all over. We do not like it. We avoid this gun at all costs, but we get to shoot it. Well, my battery is getting very low because it's winking at me and blinking, so I'm going to cut this short, and I will continue this video later on. Of course, it won't be later on as you're watching it, but you know what I mean. It's definitely more than 3,000. How high do they go?
You can have concrete 7,000 psi. Very rare. You're out of here. It's you?
I heard 3.
3?
3. That's all I heard.
That's good. That's nice.
They must have been detonating right on top of him, so I didn't hear them.
Okay. Dark smoke, so we had a lot of impact up the
Well, he did something. One of them's gone.
Yeah, that's so some expensive things too.
Actually, on this one, it should be 750.
They fire from on top of it, from the building, or box.
Oh, inside the box. Tetris. I can't tell. hopefully they'll do a double shot here.
Alright, fellas, they need to start shitting or getting off the pot. One, two.
That's it. I bet he is. Been doing it a while. No, we couldn't have been out here too long because the helicopter's only got 2 hours and 20 minutes worth of fuel. So it's probably around 1. I hope so too.
Actually, I don't see why they need us for debrief.
Well, I know I'll be there because I have the VIP van I got to take care of. Go babysit them guys.